Chapter 37. Xianxia laid on the sofa and looked at the person in front of him expressionlessly. The person in front of the sofa stared at Xianxia for 2 minutes before reaching out his hand in front of Xianxia. "Come on, shake hands." Xianxia was speechless. Xianxia looked at the big hand in front of him, then looked at the person in front of him. He ignored him and continued to lie on the sofa, not moving at all. "You don't even know how to shake hands? Whatever, roll around, or turn around," the person in front of him said again. Xianxia's paws on the edge of the sofa moved, but he still resisted the urge to wave his paws at the person in front of him, so he continued to stare blankly. The person in front of him gave a few more commands, similar to those used to train a pet. Unfortunately, Xianxia maintained his original position and completely ignored his commands. "What the f***ck, can you at least meow?" The fat cat downstairs that can't even catch a mouse doesn't know how to shake hands, turn in circles, or lie on the ground pretending to be dead, but at least it has some reaction and meow. "I say, Professor Jiao, what kind of cat is this?" Yuanzi retracted his hand and looked sideways at Associate Professor Jiao, who was calmly sitting next to the table. Jiao Pa slowly took a sip of tea and replied, "A field cat, commonly known as a mongrel." Yuanzi pointed at the black cat lying on the sofa and said to Jiao Pa, "A cat like this, it's only around 50 yuan at the market. How could the president of the famous Chongwei Group personally help us with this?" Obviously, Yuanzi didn't believe that the president of the Chongwei Group had anything to do with this ordinary cat. As far as he knew, the president of the Chongwei Group just came back from the capital. How could he have anything to do with this black cat? Their company had just been established not long ago. At first they only did some reagents or reagent kits, sold some small instruments and more basic things like DNA sequencing and PCR primer synthesis. Now most of the company's employees were still in sales. They went to various universities to promote and build a reputation. It was just that Yuanzi and the others did not expect that they would suddenly receive an order from Chongwei Group. Although it was only a QC quality inspection department of a branch of Chongwei Group, the order was not small. The total value was about 2 million yuan. Using the words of Yuanzi's wife to put it bluntly, they were purely here to give away money. They could even use this cooperation to curry favor with the Chongwei Group. However, how could such a big company not have a long-term partner? Could it be that he would not receive preferential treatment? Why did he choose a small company like ours that has no reputation? That was why Yuanzi didn't sleep the whole night after he ended the call with the Jiao Pa. This morning he drove over early in the morning to stop Associate Professor Jiao at home. He had to get to the bottom of this or else he wouldn't feel at ease. "Say something," Yuanzi urged. "I'm not sure yet. What should I say? I just suspect that there might be a connection, but I can't let my cat say it, right? I think it's in a daze." Confused? Yuanzi turned to look at Xianxia again. Xianxia continued to be confused. Yuanzi shook his head. "I still don't see anything. I just feel that it's been quite confused." Poof poof poof. The sound of the cat's claws scratching the sofa was heard again. Yuanzi looked at the Jiao family's sofa, which was full of cat claw holes, and clicked his tongue. What's so good about having a cat? It's just asking for trouble. However, Yuanzi wasn't satisfied that he didn't get a satisfactory answer this time. Xianxia was also confused about the reason for the conversation between the Jiao Pa and Yuanzi. In the past 2 days, Xianxia thought that he had been very well behaved. He didn't go far, didn't get into fights, didn't provoke fleas, and didn't even peek at the young couples. At most, he accidentally broke a cup on the Jiao Pa's desk. When he stretched, his claws scratched a hole in Gu Yuzi's pillow. In the morning, when he squinted his eyes to pee, he sneezed and peed on the Jiao Yuan's shoes. He even wrinkled the clothes that the Jiao Ma had just finished ironing. "Sai, why was it again?" Yuanzi stood up and moved his numb legs. "Anyway, I don't think it's because of this cat. If it's really because of this cat, I'll..." After looking around, Yuanzi's eyes fell on the dining table. There was a bowl of leftover black rice porridge in a big soup bowl. It was cold and the porridge was a lot thicker. "I'll go out with this bowl of black rice porridge," Yuanzi said. While listening to their conversation, Xianxia's ears twitched and he looked at the door. Soon there was a knock on the Jiao family's door. "Who is it?" "You sit down, I'll go open the door." Yuanzi waved at the Jiao Pa. He walked over, swinging his legs. His legs were a little numb from squatting for too long. Yuanzi was still mumbling something, but when he opened the door, It was as if his neck was being strangled. He couldn't make a sound. The person standing in front of the door was someone Yuan Zi had seen yesterday. He still had this person's business card in his pocket. Zhao. Chairman Zhao. Yuan Zi was so shocked that he stuttered. It was no wonder Yuan Zi was like this. Even the Jiaopa didn't expect the busy Chairman Zhao to come in person. They hadn't even found out the reason and he had already come. The person standing in front of them was the chairman of Chongwei Group, and behind Chairman Zhao was a young girl. Because Yuan Zi was blocking the door, Xing Tan, who was too lazy to move, couldn't see the person outside the door. From the voice, it was a middle-aged man. However, Xing Tan smelled a very familiar perfume. Was it the girl from the other night? Seeing Yuan Zi standing in front of the door, the Jiaopa quickly went up to him. He raised his finger and poked Yuan Zi's back where the two people couldn't see. Was he trying to be a door god? This guy's brain probably wasn't working properly right now. His reactions were much slower. Yuan Zi snapped back to reality and quickly moved aside. Please come in. Auntie Jiao and Auntie Ling went to the hospital for a checkup. Auntie Jiao wanted to check on her recovery while Auntie Ling wanted to check on her stomach. Therefore, after breakfast, Auntie Ling dragged Auntie Jiao away before she could clean up the dishes. Now only Jiaopa and Yuan Zi could handle the reception. Jiaopa pulled out 2 armchairs with backrests and pushed the stools under the table to save space. The area here wasn't big to begin with. Now that such a big figure was here, it felt a lot more crowded. In the past, 3 to 5 people wouldn't even feel like this. Seeing Associate Professor Jiao pull a chair over, Yuan Zi originally wanted to say, "Just let your cat move its butt from the sofa. It's better for guests to sit on the sofa." But seeing that the 2 people who came in didn't look unhappy, and Associate Professor Jiao had already pulled a chair over, Yuan Zi didn't say anything. Chairman Zhao looked to be in his early 40s, but he was actually in his 50s. He took good care of himself and looked energetic. At least, Xing Tan's first impression of him was quite amiable. The smile on Chairman Zhao's face was genuine. Putting down the gifts in his hands, Chairman Zhao smiled and said, "I just met Professor Lon downstairs. I followed him upstairs." Chairman Zhao knows Professor Lon? The Jiaopa asked. Yuan Zi and Associate Professor Jiao both knew that Old Man Lon worked with many companies, but they didn't expect Chongwei Corporation to be one of them. It seemed that Old Man Lon and Chairman Zhao were quite close. "We hired Professor Lon to guide us in the past. Now we often invite Professor Lon to give lectures. We also ask Professor Lon to solve some of our engineering problems," Chairman Zhao explained. Chairman Zhao introduced his daughter Zhao Lu, who was also studying at Tsinghua University. After that, he stopped talking about Zhao Lu and changed the topic to other things. Because they talked about Professor Lon, the distance between the 2 parties increased. Chairman Zhao also didn't show his usual alienation, which made Jiaopa and Yuan Zi feel less restrained. When they talked about the direction of Yuan Zi's company, both parties were very engrossed in the conversation. Yuan Zi was very happy to be able to learn from this business tycoon. From some of Chairman Zhao's stories and experiences, Yuan Zi's new company could take fewer detours. Yuan Zi knew a lot of people in the academic world, but there was only one real tycoon in the business world. Yuan Zi felt that Chairman Zhao looked a lot friendlier today. Unlike yesterday when he was smiling and not too distant, but he still had a strong aura that made people unable to get close to him. Yuan Zi glanced at Chairman Zhao and was even more certain that Chairman Zhao had restrained himself a lot. It was as if he was guiding the younger generation. He also felt a lot more sincere. Chairman Zhao didn't immediately promise to help, but he did impart some of his experience. What he meant was that he had high hopes for their new company. Now was also a period of opportunity. After the company developed, both parties might have more opportunities to work together. When Chairman Zhao spoke, he wasn't just saying it. As long as his requirements were met, he would fulfill his bottom line. This made Yuan Zi's heart burst with fireworks. While the 3 men were talking about the direction of the company and current trends, the girl had already walked over to Xing Tan. Xing Tan had been lying in the middle of the sofa ever since the guests came in. A quarter of the originally small sofa was taken up, and there were 2 pillows and a plush doll on the sofa. There was even less space left. It was a bit difficult for a man to sit on the side, but it was still possible for a slim girl to sit there. Xing Tan looked. The wounds on Zhao Li's face and hands could no longer be seen. He guessed that the reason why he had waited so many days was because of those injuries. After all, the cause of those injuries wasn't easy to explain. Zhao Li's eyes lit up when he saw the black cat lying on the sofa, and the smile on his face deepened. After sitting down on the sofa, Zhao Li carried the black cat that was lying on the sofa and looking at him on his lap and stroked its fur. Xingtan's heart rippled for a while, but it wasn't very comfortable. After thinking about it, Xingtan jumped off the sofa and ran to Gu Yuzi's room. He opened the second drawer and took out a comb. He went back to the living room and jumped onto the sofa to put down the comb. Zhao Li thought that the black cat didn't like him, but he didn't expect to encounter such a situation. After being stunned for a while, he chuckled. Zhao Li picked up the comb and began to comb the black cat's fur. Its fur wasn't long, and Xingtan usually had Gu Yuzi comb it for him. Its short fur didn't knot easily, so the comb went smoothly. The short fur on its head was also combed. Xingtan narrowed her eyes and followed the movements of the comb in Zhao Li's hand. The tip of her tail also moved up and down. It was indeed more comfortable like this. The Jiao Pa and Yuanzi who were chatting saw this scene and their faces twitched. They really wanted to go over and pinch the little bastard's cat ears and scold him. You're a guest, an important guest. You're so important that you can't even compare to his little finger. You're actually letting this important guest comb your fur. You even look like you're enjoying it. Chairman Zhao and Zhao Li didn't stay for too long. After half an hour they bid farewell and left. Chairman Zhao didn't say much about the reason for his visit, but he clearly pointed out that the Jiao family's black cat had helped his daughter a lot. As for the details, Chairman Zhao kept his mouth shut. The Jiao Pa and Yuanzi sent the two of them downstairs. There were already people waiting there. There were 2 cars parked in the parking lot. Chairman Zhao and Zhao Li got into one of them and the other was the Land Rover Xingtan saw before. After the two of them returned to the 5th floor, Yuanzi closed the door and stared at Xingtan. It was as if he wanted to see if there was anything wrong with Xingtan. I remember that you said you wanted the black rice porridge. The Jiao Pa crossed his legs and said. Yuanzi paused. He walked to the dining table and picked up the bowl of black rice porridge. Just when the Jiao Pa and Xingtan thought Yuanzi was really going to leave with the bowl of black rice porridge, Yuanzi dragged a stool over and placed it in front of the sofa facing Xingtan. After placing the bowl of black rice porridge on the stool, Yuanzi went to the kitchen and took out 3 wooden chopsticks. He stuck them into the bowl of porridge, then stepped back and bowed. Nice to meet you. Xingtan and the Jiao Pa,